Whether talking to an imaginary friend who seems to be exactly like a passed away relative, or be able to perform feats that even their parents thought impossible.
That was diabolical!
Kids always surprise us. But today, we'll be talking about those who have actual superpowers. Number 10, Lucas Murray, echolocation. At number 10, we have 7-year-old Lucas Murray with his power of echolocation. Murray was born blind and had to rely heavily on his parents for everything. After Lucas's parents, Sarah and Lane Murray contacted Daniel Kish, a blind psychologist who has mastered and taught the technique of echolocation for the blind for 15 years as of 2009. It is estimated that a small 5 to 10% of the blind community use this technique, but never really at this young of an age. Like with bats and dolphins, young Lucas can see the world around him by clicking his tongue to the roof of his mouth and listen for the echo that should bounce back at him. From the echo, he can metaphorically paint a picture in his mind of the location. He can determine the path and shape of objects around him and figure out a path for himself.
I'm Daredevil.
Number 9, Aurelian Heyman, super memory. Memory can be such a fickle thing to keep track of, except for our next children. His name is Aurelian Heyman, and he can remember every detail of his life since age 10.
15th of August, 1996.
Okay, the very first thing I see is this furry banana which I bought on holiday with my family.
He has a rare brain condition called hyperthymesia, only ever found in 20 people worldwide. This disease can also be known as supermemory, as it allows those who suffer from it to remember long stretches of their lives in extreme and vivid detail. The statistics are that an average person can remember no more than 11 events of each year of their life, but Heyman can remember every single one of them by using his right frontal lobe and his left at the same time. But it isn't a full memory like the other 20 diagnosed with the disease. Heyman only seems to get pictures of what he described in an interview as a sequence of images. Heyman is the first British citizen diagnosed and seems to be living without too much interference from it. This is the exact opposite of number 8, who? Number 8, Ramu, Wolf Boy. Unfortunately, this next child is no longer with us, but he was named Ramu, or also known as what many nicknamed him as, the Wolf Boy. In 1976, a 10-year-old named by missionaries as Ramu was found in India's wilds, standing on all fours and in the company of wolf cubs. Those same cubs seem to have raised him as one of their own. From his behavior to his matted hair, claw-like nails, severely calloused elbows and knees that looked like the pads of wolf's paws, and a penchant for eating raw meat, he was named the Wolf Boy. Not much is known about Ramu's history, or even where he came from, so he was given to Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity after he was found. Over his years with them, he learned human basics such as bathing and dressing, but he never learned how to speak, read, or learn beyond his animalistic instincts. He sadly died at the age of 19 in a home for the destitute near the Lucknow in the Uttar Pradesh state of India. Number 7, Adam, unfreezable.
Honey! What? Where's my super suit?
Next, we have a miracle power in the 2-year from Poland named Adam. This very young toddler was able to save himself from death itself without even being conscious. In 2014, in Krakow, Poland, Adam was found unconscious near a river with a heartbeat of only 1 every 30 seconds and a body temperature of 12.7 degrees Celsius or 55 degrees Fahrenheit. With only 4 days of observation and treatment, he was excellent and fully interacted with his parents, Paulina and Mateusz. No brain damage or permanent physical damage to himself. He was considered to have a miraculous power to unfreeze even in -7-degree temperatures. Even more so, after only 74 months of further treatment, he was able to leave the hospital with only minimal needs for rehab fully. Number 6, Nong Yuhai, dark vision. An unfortunate ability that humans lack is the ability to see in the dark of the night. However, this isn't exactly true for Nong Yuhai, a young boy from the small village of Dahua in rural China. Nong was born with sky blue eyes, similar to a Siamese cat that flashes neon green when lights hit them. Also, like a cat, Nong can see exceedingly well in the dark or night hours. In one of the multiple tests for this ability, he was good enough to fill out questionnaires while sitting in a pitch-black room.
Even the filling in of the blanks.
However, this power and this boy's actual ability to possess it has been highly contested and by many called a hoax. Night vision is made possible by a layer of cells called the tapetum lucidum, and there is no single genetic mutation that could produce it fully formed. This single mutation is what is argued that Nong has to have him see in the dark so well. But no one has fully been able to prove or disprove him, so he remains the mysterious boy with cat-like eyes. Our next gifted child is also quite contested in their mysterious power. Number 5, Hasna Mohammed Maselmani, Crystal Tears. Lebanese 12-year-old Hasna Mohammed Maselmani completely and utterly baffled doctors when in 1996, when she was caught crying crystals. She was about to leave school after a complaint about her eyes, and when her father found the glass in them, he took it out and scratched a book cover as a test, and it indeed ripped against the cover. These crystals have been tested and authenticated as 100% real and organic crystals, not glass. Since then, she and her parents have traveled all over trying to find the cause, but to no avail. As of 2018, she is now able to produce at 7 crystals from her tears on average. However, also since then, there have been many conspiracy theorists and skeptics alike who believe it is all a hoax. The most popular theory being that her parents are putting the crystals in the girl's eye sockets, and when she cries, they will fall out. But like number 6, nothing has been proven or fully disproven. Number 4. Boriska Kiprianovich, Alien Predictions. We now get to one of the more strange children on the list, Boriska Kiprianovich, who seems to not be from this earth with his powers of prediction. Unlike many of the other kids on this list, Boriska was the first to claim and speak widely of his irregularity. He claimed to be a reborn child who originally was a Martian alien who could predict future events. Even at some young age, he was scarily knowledgeable about Mars, and his intelligence was much higher than anyone his age should be. Just one of his predictions was that a massive flood would happen in Russia in 2012.
The town center.
It took just a few minutes of rumors of a second flood to create this.
The flood came in southern Russia on July 8, 2012, and went on to claim the lives of 171 people. Another was a prediction that had to do with his supposed home planet in ancient Egypt. That was a mechanism behind the Great Sphinx of Giza's ear that would unlock the monument and change life on Earth. Bizarrely, a deep sensory Sphinx scan showed something unusual behind the ear 10 years after his assertion. Strangely enough, after his popularity exploded, he and his family seemed to disappear completely.
I swore no matter what I would protect my family.
One rumor is that Boriska is now in a remote village under the protection of the Russian government. Number 3, Emma Table, Pyrokinesis. Everyone always has a moment where they feel like they could explode and set fire to everything around them, right? For Emma Table, a little girl from the Philippines, this is a literal possibility. She seemed to be born with pyrokinesis, a purported psychic ability allowing a person to create and control fire with the mind. Eventually, after so many fires had to be put out in her family's home, the mayor of the town and local police had to go and see for themselves. She demonstrated by setting a shirt hanging in the room on fire by only saying apoy, or the Filipino word for fire. Of course, doctors have examined her in every way, but found nothing medically wrong. The only strange thing with her, outside of her power, was an examined strong energy flow in her body, which is more than an average human. She can also predict when the fire will break out, and the word she tells us before the fire is sunang, the Filipino word for ignited fire. You'll want to stick around and see number 2, as she is almost as powerful as little Emma. Number 2, Nandana Unikrishnan, mind reading. We now come to Nandana Unikrishnan, a 9-year-old who can read her mother's mind. Sandhya Unnikrishnan, Nandana's mother, was the first to notice her daughter's ability for a few years. She said in an example in an interview that was, "I used to feel strange when she would come to me and say the name of the food I was thinking of preparing for her. The same way, if my husband and I decided to take her somewhere, she would know about it without being told about it and would start reacting to it." And since, she has gone through many different specialists and experts, one of which theorized that she has a case of peculiar genetic memory which could be found only within the mother and the child who are alive at the same time. Another believed that because of her severe autism disability, she might have developed this savant-like ability. However, she seems to be an ongoing case that has yet to be solved. Number 1. Nikolai Kryagliachenko, Magnet Attraction. And finally, we come to what seems to be the most superhero-like child of them all, Nikolai Kryagliachenko, a 12-year-old from Russia who has said in interviews that he is thinking about becoming a superhero now. After an unfortunate incident where Nikolai was standing next to a faulty lamppost and got electrocuted, he has seemed to gain a similar ability to the fictional Marvel hero, Magneto. Magnets will now stick to his body without him even lifting a finger. Coins, eating utensils, and even cups will now move and stick to his body. As a fan of the fictional hero, Nikolai is ecstatic and hopes he can use his newfound power for good in the future. So what do you think? Which power did you find the most interesting? And if you had a superpower, what would it be? Let us know down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for more content like this. We'll see you next time.
Destroy all human life as we know it. Got it!